welcome to another edition of Sports Select Sports Talk. I'm your host, Mitchell Clinton. We're here once again at the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame at 145 Pacific Avenue. They've got the Decades Gallery going on right now. They've also got some of the Canada Games stuff out because, hey, Winnipeg won their bid. The 2017 games will be coming to the city of Winnipeg, so come and check out some of the Team Manitoba gear from throughout the years. It's actually quite cool to check out how the apparel has changed and how the logos have changed. And while you're at it, take a look at a lot of the great sports memorabilia from, as early as the 1800s all the way up to the 2000s. So come on down here, 145 Pacific Avenue. Let's get to things on the show. We'll start with the opening kickoff, taking a look at a few things happening in the city of Winnipeg. We've talked about the end of May, the last couple of weeks. Let's move into the month of June. First off, the North American Hockey Classic is taking place at the Iceplex. Now, there's 2 weekends for that. It's June 6th to 9th and June 13th to 16th. So 2 opportunities to see things at the Iceplex, and it's split into the male and female categories, and this is high-end hockey. This is one of the best tournaments in North America. On the female side of things, they have the Super Elite and AAA. So, already you hear those categories of hockey, you know it's going to be something to behold. And also on the male side of things, there's the gold, silver, and bronze categories. If you want more information, NorthAmericanHockeyClassic.com is the place to go. And of course, June 15th, UFC 161 comes to Winnipeg. If you want more information on the card or to see if maybe you could still get in some way, shape, or form, UFC.com is the place to go. And also don't forget the Manitoba Marathon, June 16th, Father's Day weekend. It's one of the biggest weekends here in Winnipeg when everybody that wants to run can take part in that. And there's so many great stories that come out of the marathon as well. And just a few days before that, the Bombers and their exhibition schedule, the Bombers take on Toronto, June 12th. So that's your opening kickoff. We'll move to the Pat on the Back Club. This week's Pat on the Back goes out to the Manitoba Junior Hockey League champions, the Steinbach Pistons, who went out to Nanaimo, BC and took part in the Western Canada Cup, the inaugural Western Canada Cup. Things didn't go the way the Pistons would have liked over there. They didn't end up being one of the 2 teams going to represent the MJHL at the Royal Bank Cup. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them this year, but Steinbach will be back raring to go next year, and the TG Smith Center over in Steinbach will be rocking just like it was during the playoffs this season. We're going to take a quick break. Sheldon Appel from the University of Winnipeg joins me, and then later on, Peter Woods from Hockey Manitoba. We're going to talk body checking and where Hockey Manitoba stands on that. Lots more to come on Sports Select Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to have my seat?
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Now my family has the resources that it needs to reach its potential and a community for us to call our own.
Now I have the support I need while I work my way back to a better place.
And every year we have thousands of kids coming through our doors to escape the streets.
I was one of those kids. The United Way helped me rebuild my life.
Give and help change a life. Give to United Way.
Plant trees, plant trees.
Come on, everybody, listen up.
Plant trees.
All you boys and girls in your locks and curls, take a message to your school.
There's one solution to pollution. It'll help us all stay cool.
We've got a leafy friend who can bow and bend to help us clean the air.
Plant trees.
These dudes have shade. You got it made, so get up, don't just sit there.
Plant trees.
Plant trees with your school.
Can you dig it?
There are heroes.
My dad fixed things for everyone.
Whose names we never hear, reaching out to help their fellow man.
And me? Well, I just held the light.
If you see what's wrong and you try to make it right,
He was teaching me more than just how to fix things.
a point of light.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame and Sports Select Sports Talk. As promised, here is Sheldon Appel from the University of Winnipeg, Wesmen. And Sheldon, I got to thank you. First off, you're coming in on holidays right now.
I am. My pleasure. Anytime.
Perfect. So now, obviously, you're on holidays because the season is over for the Winnipeg Wesmen. Have you had some time to decompress a little bit? I mean, granted, your holidays is going to be the time to do that. Or did crack keep you pretty busy even after the Canada West season was over?
No, the baseball season basically, aside from the weather, they were down in the States for a good 2-week extended road trip, which basically got them over 21 games played this year. So crack kept me busy, so I kept busy. So
got to be happy with that, especially with a number of the senior players that are on the team that aren't going to have any eligibility next year. So it's good that they were able to get those games in.
Yeah, it was good for them. So they had a good send off this past Friday with the Gold Eyes. So great game. So it's a good send off for them.
Yeah, no, exactly. Looking back on the year, what stands out to you the most?
For baseball?
Yeah, or just anything Wesmen.
I think our wrestling program, the growth of that program, a few medals at the CIS level, and Brisson Brenton winning a gold medal was a big step. But on a team-wise, our men's basketball team was a big headline. They came from basically a 4-win season to 14, and Mike Rimmel did a great job with that crew, so that was a big highlight. And the energy around the university, around that team this year was just unbelievable.
So looking forward to that again next year. No pressure, Mike Rainbow, none whatsoever. Where does the winning the Duckworth Challenge rank and seeing Chris Zook wearing red?
Duckworth Challenge, actually, I've never seen that photo. I haven't seen the footage yet. Maybe while I'm on holiday this week, I will take a look at it. So, but that was a big highlight, winning the Duckworth Challenge, after I think it was 3 years of U of M supremacy. So it was good for the U of W to finally win it on our home court. Was a big highlight as well.
And of course, things don't go completely quiet at the University of Winnipeg over the summer. Obviously, the summer camps are about to get underway, and of course, there's some additions this year.
Yeah, July 2nd is when the summer camps get going. So for the months of July and August, we're going to have over 600-700 kids from grades 1 to 12 roaming around the Duckworth Center, taking part in basketball and volleyball, multi-sport, wrestling, soccer, baseball. So we have a variety of camps for a variety of ages, and we're looking forward to it again.
The addition of those camps, is that, tied pretty much hand in hand with the expansion of the baseball and the wrestling programs, I would imagine?
Yes, we did some baseball last year, but now we're looking at it a little bit more this year just to get some more exposure for it. The wrestling program last year was like a first year, so now that more public knows that we actually do have wrestling camps, we have a wrestling program, I think our attendance for the wrestling camps will be bigger this year.
Among the camps, there is some of the higher skill camps, like the HIT volleyball camp, advanced soccer and skills camp. So if athletes do have some higher skills, and amongst all those 700 kids, if there are some that have some higher skills, there is a market for that too.
Oh, for sure. The HIT camp, which stands for the high intensity training and technique, I believe, that's a big camp for a whole week, and they get everything from nutrition to training, off-season training. It's I took that last year, and it was like I was tired just watching it. And, so it's a good week to do for the elite volleyball players looking for a little bit more. So
definitely, and also, not a bad way for the kids to kind of get familiar with the University of Winnipeg, especially those ones that are getting up in their high school years and might be going to these higher skill camps. Something that if they really like their time there, maybe they commit.
You never know. It's good to get them into the university, and then 3-4 years down the road, you never know. They could be future basketball, volleyball, wrestlers, soccer players. You never know.
Nothing wrong with that. If people want more information on those summer camps, where can they go?
We have on our website, wesmen.ca, we have online registration. They can do everything in one step. Pick out your camps, make a payment on credit card right there. If they do need more information, they could call our 786-9418 phone number, and we will help them with any information they have.
Perfect. Thanks for coming on the show, Sheldon.
Not a problem. Anytime.
Sheldon Appel from the University of Winnipeg Wesmen. Coming up after the break, Peter Woods from Hockey Manitoba. We're going to talk a little bit of body checking.
I touched the ball before it went out, Coach.
Come on, Alex. The ref did not call that.
I touched it. It's their ball.
Alex.
Good call. Sportsmanship. Pass it on.
I realize the world can be a cruel and unkind place to someone of your appearance, but on the upside, you have amazing hair. Now, come on, I want you to be proud. Tell them. Tell them. She's so modest. This gal can produce up to 5 kilos of wool in 1 year. She can provide enough wool so that a family in need can make an income and keep warm. How many people can say that?
Go to worldvision.ca/gifts for unique and meaningful gift ideas today.
Jennifer, I can't help you unless you want to be helped.
I gotta be honest, before the heart attack, heart disease never really crossed my mind. Now I think about it all the time. I don't have much energy, not that interested in work, and there are so many places I just can't go because they all remind me of my wife.
Heart disease and stroke is the leading cause of death for Canadian women, yet most don't know it. By making lifestyle changes, women can reduce their risk by as much as 80%. Visit thehearttruth.ca to learn more.
Oh, hi, I'm Harold. I live in Victoria, British Columbia, and basically we went green.
Things on the roof through like tubes, and then my guess is that the water flows through them and it gets heated.
So we upgraded our halls with an air source heat pump, sold a hot water system, and added a lot of insulation.
The simplest way to tackle our current climate change issues are really to reduce our emissions, and the simple thing is to start in your own household.
I am green power!
Welcome back to Sports Select Sports Talk from the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame, and if only we could roll the conversations that we have before these cameras come on. Peter Woods from Hockey Manitoba, myself, Jeff Bromley on camera, talking a little bit about tattoos before we got the camera rolling here. But Peter, we'll talk about hockey. Specifically, let's start with the 36 Manitobans going in the WHL draft.
I think that's pretty exciting. That's the highest number that we've had selected in the most recent memory. But I think if you look over the last 4 or 5 years, the numbers have gone up marginally, 1 or 2 per season. So it looks like we're going in the right direction. And 36 is a good number for the size of our membership. So I think we're quite excited about that.
And I mean, another guy that's jumping up a little bit of a level here, Ryan Pulock, is expected to go not only in the first round, but pretty high. And he's also kind of become a little bit of a face for Hockey Manitoba. I'm thinking in terms of like the Directors' Cup and everything. So even more excitement when it comes to the play of Ryan Pulock at the WHL level, and hopefully, I mean, going forward in the NHL level.
Certainly he had a very exciting year, and you know, if it wasn't for the NHL strike this year, he probably could have been playing on the national team. So that was an opportunity that was missed. However, he had a very good season. He's been involved with our programs, assisted with the Directors' Cup, and that's pretty exciting news because the players that participate in that program have, can use him as a role model, an opportunity to achieve the level of success that he's already achieved.
Mm-hmm. And I believe he was saying, I heard an interview with him that he played in the Directors' Cup as well back in his time. So it just shows that progression. And I mean, I say back in his time, like he's an old timer, but he's a young guy. Last thing that we'll talk on, kind of draft and junior hockey wise before we move on to the minor hockey side of things. Brendan Leipsic and the Portland Winterhawks heading off to the Memorial Cup as we shoot this interview. I mean, obviously the Memorial Cup just one of those events that guys like Brendan Leipsic, who's from Winnipeg, have a chance to show their skills on a national level.
Certainly, it's pretty exciting news for him. You know, a graduate of our program and came through our POE program and has achieved some very good success at Portland. The opportunity to participate in and maybe return with the Memorial Cup is pretty exciting, and I think that's what you play for all year. And I'm sure the next couple of weeks are going to be pretty memorable for him.
Yeah, definitely. Now we'll move into minor hockey, and of course the big news coming across Canada. Hockey Alberta was the first to do it. Hockey Nova Scotia did it over the Mother's Day weekend. They're removing body checking. I'm specifically saying body checking, not necessarily body contact, because there's still going to be the rub out along the boards and all that kind of stuff, just like in women's hockey. But they've removed body checking from the Pee-wee level. I guess first off, your thoughts on it, personally or professionally. You can go either way. Whatever you prefer to do it, but what are your thoughts on it as this news is kind of coming out?
Certainly from Hockey Manitoba, I think this is going to be discussed later on this month at the Hockey Canada meetings, and we would support any direction that they've identified here. I think there's a couple things that come into play, and Alberta and both Nova Scotia have taken initial steps to reduce that. I'm under the understanding that will probably happen nationally by the end of the month. I think there's some good things that come out of that. It's an opportunity, I think, to again ensure that our game is as safe as we possibly can make it. There's also that opportunity for players to develop their skills one more year before they actually get into contact. It'll give the chance for coaches to put in progressions to allow to teach the game and teach the contact aspect of the sport properly. I think also most importantly that maybe it's been overlooked a little bit is the opportunity for officials to stay involved in the game a little bit longer. We lose probably 30% of our officials each year, and if that can be delayed because the game will be a little easier to officiate when there's no contact involved, I think that has to be helpful for the sport. So overall, I think it's a progressive move. It was going to come. Likewise, and, 4 or 5 years from now, we'll probably be talking about the same thing of eliminating fighting from the National Hockey League.
Yeah, no kidding. That seems to be the way it's going. With that interesting point about the officials, being a former official myself, I never actually thought of it that way. But what would you say, I guess, to the people that, I mean, the more traditionalists that are going to say something along the lines of, if you introduce hitting in bantam, well, the players are bigger and faster than they were at the Pee-wee level, so how does it make it safer?
I think that's a good question there, and there are the traditionalists out there that think we should probably still have hitting involved at the entry level at novice. I think it gives the opportunity for kids to become a little bit more engaged in the sport, a little bit longer, to develop their skills, to focus on their skating skills, their passing skills, their shooting skills, before they're worried about having somebody come after them and make contact. So, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another, but I think overall, I think the research has indicated that players at that younger age group are still being exposed, and there is some risk involved, and I think sports governing bodies are just looking to control and reduce that risk.
So given the rise of concussions and head hits and everything, you mentioned after in your answer to my first question, this was something that you could almost foresee coming. Would you say that's accurate?
I think so. I think society has just changed over the last number of years. You look at in the National Hockey League, you're not allowed to hit anymore without somebody coming after you to want to fight you. So it's the game has our tolerance level for contact or for illegal checks or things of that nature have been significantly reduced to what they were when growing up in the 60s or the 70s. So I think it's just a natural progression to focus on some of the other skills besides contact.
So you mentioned the Hockey Canada meetings are at the end of the month. Do you think that means with this coming into play, and of course with the concussions and player safety being as important as they are, do you think the classification of a legal hit will change?
I know in the USA Hockey right now you're not allowed to hit a guy with a suicide pass to make that contact. I think we'll probably progress to that. I don't know if that'll happen at this go-around, but we'll certainly progress to that through the areas of the ice where you'll be able to make contact, whether you'll be able to make contact in open ice hits or blind passes, things of that nature. And I see that being a natural progression that will be reduced in the next couple of years. Interesting.
That's Peter Woods from Hockey Manitoba talking about body checking. I mean, if you want to keep up with this, hockeymanitoba.ca is going to be the place to go to see how it affects Manitoba, of course. And then, of course, you can check out Hockey Canada's website as well to check on how those meetings are going. Peter Woods, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, Mitch.
Not a problem. We're going to go to break. We'll come back. The Tweet of the Week, my Minute of Fame, are up next.
Fruits and veggies. They come in all shapes and sizes. And add color and goodness to every meal and snack. So whenever you eat, include fruits and veggies. And mix it up. For information and recipe ideas, visit fruitsandveggies.ca.
Dear Mrs. Crandall, it's easy to get so busy we can forget there are others who need our help.
Let's work on your reading, okay?
You can see.
Vanessa, you're next.
At the seashore, you can learn about the tides, the seagulls, and the beach.
By taking the time to help my daughter read, you've become her hero and mine.
Make a difference. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Charlie Ferguson here. According to your Ottawa statistics, 1 in 3 senior citizens is in for a big fall this year. But here's 3 assistive devices will keep you upright. A cane, a walker, or a scooter. So get over being an old fogey. Get a handle on life. To get free information, call the number on your screen. Mobility. Now you're going places.
Canada's towns and cities have a rich cultural and natural heritage. For those of us who live and work within these urban landscapes, we need the beauty and the environmental benefits of trees. Conserving these natural landscapes is everyone's responsibility. Help Tree Canada grow clean air. Trees do their part. Let's do ours.
Welcome back to the final segment of Sports Select Sports Talk from the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame in downtown Winnipeg. Let's get to the tweet of the week. And this week, the tweet, it's my own tweet, all right? I get my moments here. I'm the host of the show. I get to have my tweets out a little bit. But basically, it just says, I can't imagine my mornings without @JOnWright and @TSN O'Toole. I'll be watching every day until they leave in July for Fox in LA. Of course, that's the big news. Jay Onright, Dan O'Toole heading down to Fox Sports 1. It's the all-new sports channel that's going to be going on down in the States. And I mean, Jay and Dan have given us a lot of things, from Bobrovsky to man, there's a number of them. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Of course, there's the that they like to do, but of course, SportsCenter is not going to be the same for a lot of people. It'll be interesting to see who they bring in to kind of fill that spot. I mean, it's obviously going to be big shoes to fill. Jay Onright obviously worked in Winnipeg. Dan O'Toole never did, but he's a Peterborough boy, and those two guys just work together really well. So, of course, Fox Sports is lucky. TSN SportsCenter, I mean, they've got their work cut out for them, and of course they know that, and we'll see who sits in. Of course, they leave, that is Jay and Dan leave at the end of June. Moving to my minute of fame, we talked with Peter Woods about this, but now we get to hear my opinions. Hockey Alberta and Hockey Nova Scotia have now removed body contact from the Pee-wee level, and you know, back in my hockey career, that was when I learned how to hit. And of course, you know, when you go through learning these kinds of things, of course there are collisions, but the issue that I have with moving it to bantam hockey, I'm kind of one of those people that, you know, by the time they get to be 14 years old, these kids that are playing, you know, they're bigger and stronger than what they were when they were playing Pee-wee hockey, and they're also faster. So, I mean, I understand player safety is the ultimate, but you can only kind of push that so far before eventually they got to learn how to start hitting. And I wouldn't want it to be when these kids are 18 years old and they're fully grown and fully matured, and now they're just learning how to hit. That terrifies me a little bit, but I mean, obviously these guys that are making these decisions know what they're doing and are looking out for the best in the game. Obviously concussions are one of the biggest things that have to be removed from the game of hockey. I want to thank Sheldon Appel and Peter Woods from Hockey Manitoba for joining me on the show this week. We will see you next week on Sports Select Sports Talk.